it'll be more harm to them than it'll be a lesson because they're placed in an environment that they know nothing about, you know. And a lot of the guys over there have really nothing to gain. They're there. Some of them are repeaters. They go in like a revolving door. They're in there.
Repeaters. What you mean by that?
They go in and out. They keep coming in and out Central Booking or out of the criminal justice system. So to take a young guy like your nephew or someone and who this is his first time and to put him in there, a lot of times will do more harm than good in terms of letting him stay there and under disguise you go to teach him a lesson. You know, a lot of things can happen in 2 or 3 days, you know.
Like, for instance?
Well, for instance, he can, you know, they'll take his little commissary.
Take his commissary?
Yeah, they'll take his commissary. That's the things, you know, they'll take his meals.
Take his manhood.
Yeah, I was getting ready to. I was trying to figure out how to say that nicely.
Yeah, so you don't want the manhood taken. So get the people out. And what number they can call? They can call you.
You can call me. My number is 410-462-2639.
What's that number again?
That's 410-462-2639. And if you forget the numbers, it's 410-462-Cody. CODY.
Wow.
It's the same analogy. Same thing.
And how long, like if a person locked up, they call you, and how long it take paperwork and get out of jail?
Well, they have 24 hours to do the process once you get locked up and go to central booking. You have about 24 hours. And because of the backlog and because of the fact that it is so crowded there, if your loved one get locked up, say 10 o'clock in the morning, I would suggest you wouldn't start calling central bookings at probably 10 o'clock at night. Allow yourself 12 hours at least to see if the process as he's been processed yet. A lot of times it takes longer than that. Once the bail is posted, he still will be in there another 6 to 8 hours because they have to process him out as they just processed him in. It's imperative that you get to him as soon as possible. You post the bail as soon as possible. And particularly because they take so long to release an individual, if you're trying to save your son's job, let's say, and he has to go to work 8 o'clock in the morning, well, as soon as he gets locked up, you need to start the process, the bail bond process, because you don't know how long it's going to be. There's no one that you can appeal to. If you call over the records too many times, they'll put you on hold and won't answer the next time, you know. Or they'll take the phone off the hook and you just get the busy signal because you've called too many times, you know.
Wow, man, if you call too many times, that's what they do?
Yeah, that's what they do. But a lot of times the families don't know who to appeal to. You know, you call the jail and talk to the sergeant or the captain, you know what I mean?
Mr. Nolan, you got any take on that?
Well, what he's saying is actually true, and that's one thing you don't want to do is to take a child, a first offender, and have him put away for a long period of time because the knowledge and education that he might get in jail might not do him any good when he comes back in the street. So if you can get him out, get him into some educational programs, show him that there's another way to run his life, and have mentors in his life. There's a lot of things that I could discuss on that, but I'd like to stay with Mr. Cody Smith at this time.
Mr. Cody Smith, the Bell's Bondsman.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Cody Smith, I have a question there. For instance, like when you first go in jail, you don't get a bail right away. You have to wait for a commissioner, right?
Exactly. When you first go in jail, you do what they call a process you in. That's taking your picture, your fingerprints, etc. Okay? Then you're put in a holding cell. The holding cell is designed primarily to hold 6 people. However, they got 22 people in there. So you're crowded, you're in a crowded atmosphere. It's just crowded, you know. These guys are sleeping and snoring, and I guess, you know, any other body feature, what's going on with them. And it's a very hard thing to do to be in there because you're so pressed, you're so close together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, then you get a bail, and then they call the bail bondsman. And then, when they get a bail, the parents call you, and then what's the process?
Okay, when the parents call me, and they tell me, little Johnny's over jail, Mr. Cody, can you help me get him out? I said, I sure can. I find out, first of all, how much is the bail. Now, I'm not going to hijab you. Bail traditionally is 10%.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the way this business is now, very few people pay 10%. You know what I mean? What you have to do is whatever the person work out with you. You want to pay enough they usually take just enough to pay the insurance company so that you can get your son out. Then you take the remainder of the 10% and put it on a payment plan.
Right.
In other words,
$50,000. If it costs $50,000 to get out, how much they need? 10% of that. 10% of $50,000
is $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you do is, I'll take $1,500.
And they really need $5,000.
Yeah, but you take $1,500 to pay the insurance company.
Right.
Because that's the 2% you want to pay the insurance company.
So they can't get out until the insurance company is paid.
Oh, you got to pay it. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. $1,000 is for the insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
Once you pay the insurance company, then you're released. The remainder of the bail bond fee is put on a payment plan.
Right. Now, do other bail bondsmen try to cut people's throat?
Oh, absolutely.
Just like cab drivers.
Yeah, like cab.
Tell us. I know you don't want to get into that, but
no, I don't have no problem.
Uh-oh. You don't have no problem. Mr.
Bail
Cody
bondsmen,
Smith,
without doubt,
what's going on?
It's the worst. Oh, man, it's something. It's very competitive. You have bail bondsmen who will cut your throat, as well as cab drivers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because of the economy, and I don't want to put it all on the economy, people have just turned over new leaves. I mean, they just go at it. You know what I mean? They have no respect, no regard for this business or for the next individual, So in other words, you got like I say, you got the nursemaid your bail. But I mean that you got to stay with the person, go to the house, get the money, do the paperwork. You can't be lazy and say, well, I'll call them tomorrow morning. Because believe me, tomorrow morning, someone will be there to snatch your bail. They got that bail.
So what if they jump bail and another bail bondsman won't tell you they jump bail? Should bail bondsmen stick together? If this person jump bail, I ain't going to touch that bail. It don't work that way?
Not at all. If you jump bail on me, I'll get you out. And I catch you, and I have you rearrested or locked up again.
Right.
The next bail bondsman, he can't wait to get him out. I said, well, he jumped bail on me. They don't care. You know what I mean?
Just like cab companies.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Never having been faced with this situation. Hopefully, never.
Yeah.
Too. I'm writing as you're speaking.
Yeah.
If the bail is set at $50,000,
right?
You're saying at least $5,000 is what a person should be able to have access to. You said at least $1,500. So would that be? I'm confused. Would that be the initial? If I said I don't have exactly 5,000, but I got 1,500. Would that person be able to get out?
Absolutely.
And then it would be, who do I give that? When you say the insurance man,
well, see, I take care of that.
You do that. So you would get the 1,500, and then the balance. You would put me on a payment plan.
I would take the 1,500. I would go to the insurance company.
Okay.
And I would make arrangements for an agent to bail your son out. Mm-hmm. Once that's done, once he comes home, then you will meet with me at my office on Ricestown Road, and we'll finish doing the paperwork, and we'll make some kind of payment arrangement for the remainder. In other words, but see, it's easier now because of so much competitiveness in this game that you have to just shop for your best deal. Shop for your best deal.
When you say shop for your best deal, what do you mean calling different bail bondsmen and seeing
That's
what
what's
is their
doing.
rate?
Yeah, what's doing now? You know,
The cheapest man win.
not all the time.
Not all the time. let's go to Steve.
Sometimes good things, the cheap things are not good. Good things.
That's what I'm saying. That's what Mr. Cody wanted to say.
Reputation is what you want to deal with.
Reputation. That's what we talking about.
Now, that's important. You know, you have to deal with a person on their character. Now you say, what does character got to do with bail bond? Well, if you got a person that's got some integrity, it's okay. He's not going to trick you. And I tell you, a lot of times I talk to people, they think they know about the bail bond business, and they don't. I had a sister call me this morning. I'd gotten her husband out on a $100,000 bail. So she still has a payment plan to adhere to. Well, what happened, he went to court this morning, and his case was null pros, which means it was over with. When they null pros your case, that means that they have lack of evidence. For lack of evidence, they can't prosecute you. So they, in other words, throw it out. So when she thought that meant
He ain't had to pay the bail,
he had to pay me.
but you still got to pay that.
You got to pay me. I'm not in the court system. I don't work for the court system. I'm an independent contractor. I got your husband out, or your little son, little
Right.
Johnny out,
Got him out before he.
before he even went to court. I don't know what the outcome is going to be of his trial. I certainly hope he makes out okay.
Right.
But it doesn't make a difference to me. I just want him to go to court.
Right.
Okay?
And he still got to pay his obligations.
Yeah.
Because he could have been in jail. You can die in jail waiting to go to court. You know, anything can happen. We talked about that before we start the show. So getting out, getting that freedom, you
It's
got to
most
pay.
important, yeah.
And the reason is primarily because they've signed a contract.
Well,
Or
yeah.
do they sign
They
a
sign
contract?
a contract. It's called an indemnity form.
Okay.
Indemnify means to make whole. So in order to make me whole, once you sign that contract for me,
Contract.
yeah,
It's a law.
It's a bonding agreement.
yeah.
So he can go to court and have to pay that.
Oh yeah, or his mother. Usually, I prefer the mother or the wife or somebody
Whoever
else
signed it.
to sign their,
Right.
sign the indemnity form.
Okay.
I don't particularly care for the